Yes, we are live. Welcome back, my dear friends. This is another amazing episode of Zero Point Healing Show. This is episode number 63. And in this particular show, we are going to discuss about how we can bring spiritual solutions into our life. And I have with me an amazing healer and facilitator who has developed her own unique kind of strategy, and that's called the Conscious Wholeness. And that's what we're going to discuss about today. But before I move on to her, just a quick intro about me. I'm Vishnupriya, and I am certified in multiple different healing modalities. And through my journey, I found that these different holistic healing modalities have personally helped me grow, and every healing modality helped me take that next step in my life. But one thing I felt missing was this kind of a platform, which is now developed as Zero Point Healing. So during this whole process, I was able to see that if there is a beautiful web directory where I can find all holistic healers in one place, it would be nice, because when I was going through this journey, I was Googling all the way and trying to figure out which healer to work with, which kind of healing modality to pick and choose. So that's the reason behind how I was able to come up with this kind of platform. And as I said, it's called zeropointhealing.com. It is a web directory for all types of healers, facilitators, therapists, anybody who is doing some kind of service in this holistic healing world. And if you are a healer, therapist, or a facilitator yourself, I welcome you to zeropointhealing.com. You can register yourself, and if you're interested in one such interview with me, you can contact me for that as well. And I personally, at this time, I'm focusing completely on helping and developing holistic healers, and I'm a business coach for spiritual entrepreneurs. That's what I would call myself. I help spiritual entrepreneurs build their business, get more clients. And I'm coming from MBA in marketing background, so I know certain elements of marketing that I'm teaching for spiritual entrepreneurs, because I feel that knowledge, the marketing and the business side of things, are a little bit a challenge when it comes to spiritual entrepreneurs. So that's my personal work. And of course, Zero Point Healing is helping me help these beautiful, amazing, talented, skillful healers and facilitators to show themselves to the world. So that's about me. I'm going to move to my beautiful angel here. Welcome, Kamilla. Thank you so much for being with me today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey towards building and creating this beautiful conscious wholeness.
Thank you, Vishnu. Yeah, so for me, the process kind of created itself through me rather than me sitting down and saying I'd like to do something different. So I feel we're all individual rays of light from like the source light of consciousness, so to speak. And as a result, we're all unique, we're all different, and we all sort of have unique gifts and talents, and we can bring a higher consciousness as well differently through us. So for me, I guess the process started maybe around 10 years ago, a little bit longer. And I was doing always something different than, from the therapies that I learned. I would keep very strictly to the rules and regulations of the therapies, but then at the end or in the middle of a session, something would come up where I'm like, oh, I'm aware of something about this person, so let me share it with them. And they'd be like, oh, that's really true. And then we'd be able to actually deepen whatever therapy or practice I was using at the time. So yeah, and I started to realize that actually this happened a very long time ago, probably over 23 years ago now, when I realized that I was actually depressed as a teenager, and it was kind of a very disconnected sense of self that I had. I didn't even know that I was depressed. That I started studying psychology, and as I was taking this, kind of abnormal psychology class where you go through the typical kind of psychological disorders. I took questionnaires on depression and I like scored really high on all of them. It was a real shock to the system. And I remember very clearly crossing the road from the university and kind of going like, I don't want to have a diagnosis, because then it's kind of like it's something sitting on me rather than I'm responsible for my life. And this came out of nowhere. I wasn't brought up this way. Nobody talked to me this way. And now I can see that like it's my higher self sort of telling me that in a way. But then it just occurred to me. I was like, no, I will not kind of like go with, kind of more classic approaches, like I'm a victim of this disease, please help me. So I did seek help, but for the first couple of years I just sort of read a lot and studied and did all that I could to help myself. And the interesting thing that occurred just then when I was 18, 19 is that I remember realizing very acutely like what is different about me from other people from perspective of being sad and depressed and unhappy. And I thought, okay, well, people who are happy, if I observe them, they're doing and enjoying something that's very unique to them. And the other person who's happy is doing something entirely different. I was like, I don't have a thing that, kind of gives me joy and happiness genuinely in my heart. And I thought, okay, well, what is that unique self that knows what to do something, kind of what it needs and what it loves to do here. And even though I actually come from the former Soviet Union where there was no religion for 70 years, somehow the word soul came to my mind. And I mean, prior to that moment, I was like, soul, God, it's ridiculous, just the background I come from, so it was all scientific. And then I was like, okay, well, I could call it soul because, it makes sense. An individual consciousness that's really light, uplifting. It knows what it wants here. It knows what it loves here. It knows what its purpose is here. And I don't have a clue. And so hence began my process. Even then, when I was very much in my left hemisphere, I was very logical, looking for my soul, or kind of connecting with it and going like, what do I like? What does it want? And within probably 2 to 3 years, I started to experience joy, and started to feel this kind of something larger than myself. And then, after doing various jobs that had nothing to do with what I'm doing now, as I mentioned, this psychology background, but I did IT and I did graphic design. I did a number of things. I finally kind of arrived into working more with helping people. That's why I went to psychology in the first place. But it was always with the perspective, like I knew that there was something higher, something greater, something bigger that is guiding us. And even though my connection was very tentative, for some reason when I was with other people, it would just open up and say all kinds of things for them and seem to help them. And I could see that even when I was 12, my mom was once very panicked, and suddenly something like came very calmly upon me, and I was able to tell her what to kind of do when she was okay. And I was only 12, So it kind of all added up, and I've studied a number of modalities, did many different classes, and I read a million different books on different topics. And eventually I could see that it's not the therapies and modalities that create the environment into which people come in to get help. It's the people who are running them, because just like, all snowflakes are different and nobody has the same fingerprints. We all do. And what we even learned how to do very, very differently. It's like an individual painting. So, and each client seems like a person that I meet seems like an individual kind of like unusual painting that needs colors. And these colors kind of like download through my awareness towards them, and I offer it to them and then teach them how to receive them and how to kind of see their own connection to the source. And the more I was doing this, the more I realized that one of the kind of purposes of my existence here or coming here is to establish that bridge, that connection, and that very conscious connection to spirit, to source, to light, to the soul. You can call it whatever you like, higher consciousness. I can use quantum language, it doesn't matter really. So that's really how it kind of began. And I started to realize a few years ago that it is something quite different happening here. And I wouldn't mix it with mainstream modalities that I was using, because I kind of honor, what was, you know, downloaded through these people who teach them. I feel it's very ethical to make sure that you're not mixing things up unless it's permitted, of course. So, but yeah, more and more of these things were coming through me, and this is how I now realize that essentially the time of connecting with spirit in dreams only, or in deep trance, or in meditation only, is coming to an end as we're evolving. I feel more and more of us are kind of open channels for higher self-information. People, you know, who wouldn't have accepted this 5 years ago are becoming quite intuitive, you know, quite sporadically. And intuition, you know, if it's used in a sense of alignment with your highest kind of what's for the highest good for you and humanity, it's definitely your higher self, you know, interpreting and giving you a higher overview of what's happening. So essentially, yes, the conscious wholeness is, you know, this therapy that I'm registering right now, and it's evolving into a teaching process that I can teach other people now. So I'm really excited about it. So yeah, hopefully that answered the question.
That's beautiful. And I really love how you have, because I have seen people who don't even want to talk about the spiritual side of things, or, you know, higher self or soul. They know everything, but they are not ready to share, just because of the fear of judgment. You know, what would others think about me? This is not mainstream topic that we talk on television or newspapers yet. But I'm myself waiting for a time when this becomes a mainstream topic that anybody and everybody can talk without that fear of judgment that might come through. And I'm so happy that I got a person like you who is able to share all of this information, because that's the highest truth, right? Unless we align ourselves with our highest truth, all the fake fear and anger and uh, all the lower emotions are gonna be stuck in humanity and on earth. The more we align ourselves with the higher soul and higher self and the source itself, the easier for us to let go of that fear and anger and judgment and all of the enmity that we have towards each other with regards to humans in general. So nice and amazing that you're bringing up this kind of a new modality, or whatever you would like to call it as. So now tell us a little bit about what happens within a session. Is it like a conscious wholeness session, or how long is it like, and what's happening when a client comes to you? What exactly happens in a session?
Yeah, so whether people come in as single individuals or groups, because I have small group work in person for now, not online yet, generally they're aware of what's kind of, you know, troubling them, or they're aware that they would like to kind of become slightly more superhuman or, you know, be more super conscious, because a lot of us talk about subconscious, by the way, as well, and like making that distinction is that you know, subconscious means beyond your conscious awareness, but in that subconscious we have files of, you know, kind of abuse or information on what happened, like traumas and limitations and social kind of fears, as you're mentioning them, or beliefs that, you know, our ancestors had that, you know, don't serve us today anymore. But also within that subconscious realm there's the superconscious, you know, what you're also not regularly, we haven't been aware of for a long time. And so people would share kind of like their awareness of, like, you know, something is troubling me, and at the same time, you know, I'd like to be able to just stay really calm and peaceful and whatever, happy, or know how to solve this problem that's been bothering me for a long time. So and after that kind of initial small chat, I would feel sort of a resonance within the person's system. And they sometimes can identify it themselves, like we would go through a body scanning process and energy scanning process, so they'd know that something is off somewhere. Or I would listen to them and hear that one word might jump out, and behind it, behind the scenes in the subconscious realm, I would actually start to sense a picture of what's happening, like what occurred in their life, or where something happened with their ancestors or wherever. And then we can connect the person consciously. This is where the word consciousness is there. It's not done in a modality way where, you know, somebody's channeling light towards you and you're like just receiving, you don't know what's happening because your conscious mind is out of the loop. Everything is still in the subconscious realm. This is pretty much like I would describe it. The way I describe it, it's sort of, I guess, one of my gifts in my channel of light is language. So language changes depending on the person. It just happens automatically. I can feel what would be relevant, what would kind of like as a word even resonate within their system and unlock something. So and as we're going through this process of looking and acquainting this person or this group of people with what's going on with them, they can consciously see the energy of what they've been hanging on to, and they didn't know they've been hanging on to it, or the energy that's just in the way of their connection to their insight and confidence and feeling that they're able, feeling that they're worthy. Like these are such big topics that are happening in the world as well, like that everybody feels worthy and equal with each other. So and at the level of a family unit or a personal unit, that's been, you know, generationally put into us in a very unequal kind of sense. So that often blocks us to the connection to, you know, your higher self. So we kind of work through the main things that pop up during that session. Obviously, spirit is guiding, or, you know, the higher self is guiding both of us, their higher self, and, you know, you could say that's just the universal higher self, if you like. We can use the word God if anybody's comfortable with it. I wasn't comfortable with it for a long time, but I am now. So, you know, and that kind of then, it's sort of like, you know, if you scratch yourself, you don't have to like pray and hope it's going to heal, you know, for most people on this planet, you know, it's just going to happen. And you don't need to know, like, is it going to start healing at this end of the scratch or this end of the scratch, you know, and how quickly is it going to happen? And, you know, so we can trust that the process then of healing happening at the psyche level, at the body level, at the higher self level, you know, attempting to restore that connection with the human self, is happening just at the right tempo and in the right way. So it's very individual for each person, but generally at the end of the first session, they have gotten a sense of like, wow, I can see what I didn't see before. That's the bare minimum. And I've released a lot of the stuff and I feel lighter or brighter or happier or whatever. And then more so, because, and I'm also really doing my best to attract people who are ready to receive more through this process. You know, people may just drop the whole nearly a childhood persona that they carried for a long time. And they go, wow, I remember who I am, or, you know, now I'm feeling different, and oh, you know, it makes sense, and, you know, I'm less angry, or I'm not angry at all, or whatever. Or you know, normally worth comes in, and relief from guilt comes in the most, because they're the heaviest things and the most blocky kind of things that block us away from feeling light and bright and happy and, you know, worthy and able, which is, I think we all want to feel this way all the time. So yeah, and generally then in terms of continuation of sessions, people would sense and feel if they need more. I can also muscle test, because I've done systematic kinesiology for over 10 years. I've done Psyche, so muscle testing is there. And actually the funny side of it is that before I trusted, you were saying, like, you know, people are afraid to talk about spirit. Like, here's me, you know, it took me a long time to kind of say it. And for me, I had a survey done about 5 years ago with all my clients, because I wanted to, like, I worked with a marketing person, and they said, like, just see what they call you. And everybody, even though I've never used the word healer, I never used the word, like, even energy, barely. Everybody said, like, she's my healer. And I'm like, how dare you? You know? So I wasn't very comfortable with that word even. So, you know, untying it, you know, was brilliant, because I kept on seeing somebody who's quite ungrounded and floaty and, you know, for some reason wearing sandals. Sorry, that's just a funny judgment that I carried. But, you know, absolutely, you know, it's nice to land into knowing that we can talk about spirit and sense it and feel it. So it's a very visceral process, a bit like you can't deny gravity right now. You can't deny the presence of your weight. So if I start to point out gravity to you, you'll be like, yeah, I can really feel my, you know, feet on the ground, the weight of my arms. And I kind of point out to the spirit sensations, if you like, in the person. They're like, oh yeah, I've had this all along. It's just kind of ignored it because everybody ignored it before. So we can start to really make it a grounded reality where we're connected to to spirit all the time, and it helps us, solve all kinds of problems. But essentially, I kind of feel the problem realm is really the human perception. It is about evolution, and we're evolving quite rapidly. So this is sort of like helping the merging or unity between our higher self and our human self. So we repair that horrible wound really that we've carried for a long time, of feeling that we have to be limited, we have to fit in, we have to be afraid, and then we get angry because we're afraid. We don't feel powerful, so etc., etc., etc. Yeah.
That's nice. And I really love the process itself that you have kind of put together. And I think the clients who are going through that, through your sessions, are having amazing breakthroughs. So now let's quickly do the 10-minute activation that you have for us. So my dear viewers, as part of this kind of interview, we usually do a last 10-minute live healing or kind of a meditation. For today, Kamilla has told me that we are going to do an activation, which is amazing. So it's a free gift that she's giving us. So let's get started.
I'm very excited. So yeah, let's do this. So sorry, I'm just making myself more comfy as well. So let's land into our bodies first of all. So if you want to get yourself more comfortable, and I tend to do this process with my eyes closed. So you can do as you wish. However, when we look outside, we're really activating a more kind of human side of like protecting our body and looking for a stimuli on the outside. So whenever you close your eyes, you are closer to your higher self, so to speak, even though the idea is that when you open your eyes, you continue to have this connection on and on. So yeah, if you make yourself comfortable and feel your feet on the ground or couch or wherever they are, and sort of take a deep breath and release your entire day or morning or evening. And then go ahead and take another breath and release all that you know about yourself, all that you think about yourself, just like no concepts, nothing, you release them all. And then sense your feet wherever they are and feel whatever you feel in your feet, whatever sensations you have. And you might notice heat or energy or prickling sensations or cold or whatever it is. And then just realize for a moment that your feet are like the floor for your energy field as a human, like your human energy field, your body energy field. And because it's like the floor of an ocean of energy or a little lake of energy, at that ocean floor, there are no currents and there are no winds. So it's completely still. And so just realize that, yes, the energy can be very, very still there, and I'm stilling it now. And then from that space, just allow yourself to still the rest of your energy in the body, just in whichever way feels natural to you. Okay. Just sort of get the water of your lake to stop moving. Going like, yeah, my energy is still now. And then with the intention, we're sending the connection from your feet all the way to the heart of the earth. So you can just imagine that you're connecting to the very, very bright core center that feels the happiest and brightest. And you're connecting by imagining that maybe your feet are extending all the way down, or you're sending like channels of light, or you're just tracing the gravity, because you can also feel your weight right now and trace like, where's my weight coming from? Why do I weigh? Why do I have gravity? Because if you were on the moon, you wouldn't feel gravity like this. On the earth, you feel it a certain way. So you're just tracing it down to the heart of the planet. And your intention is to connect to the place that is the happiest for you. So like in the center of the planet, there's a place that feels just the best for you, and you're connecting to it. And then have the intention that, saying it silently or out loud for yourself, that I'm open to receive what I need from the earth. Okay, just in case in your subconscious you have been blocking the earth in some way or healing for yourself in some way. And then feel how this opening is affecting your feet, your legs, your hips, your stomach, your heart, your shoulders, your head. It's just opening and receiving what the earth has to give you. Okay, and then in your own way, if you wish to imagine that you're either connecting to something above you that's like the brightest light or the source of the universe. And for some people, they like to go actually through the center of their heart. And it makes no difference, because we're in three-dimensional reality here. As far as the physical reality is concerned, it's strange that you can go both ways to access the universe, but actually you can go from any place within your body, but the heart or looking up seems to work for most humans. So whichever way you normally connect to the source, or you would like to be able to, or maybe if you pray or meditate and feel the light above you or in your heart, just connect to that frequency and have the intention that you're connecting to the most loving frequency in the universe. Like, it's the most loving one. It has no conditions for love. It doesn't judge anyone, anything. It just loves, loves, loves. And go higher and higher into it, or deeper and deeper into it. And go even deeper and deeper and brighter. And keep going until you kind of feel like, your whole body nearly dissolves in that love, and you're just reaching deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And then connect at some point to whatever that light is. Just kind of feel that, okay, I'm really connected now. Feel that highest frequency of love available to me. And then see or imagine that you're allowing, or say in your mind that I allow love to start to flow through me. And I open to receive the universal love, or God love, or spirit love, or the source love of the whole universe. And I open every part of my body to receive this universal light and love. Okay. And then in case, there's some fears or old beliefs around, what if I connect to something that's not so good for me? What if I'm not worthy of a good connection? We're just going to kind of give a command to your system. And remember, if you're doing any kind of very choice decision words for yourself, your subconscious absolutely hears it and complies. So if you just say that I only connect with and work with the highest vibrations in the universe. I only work with and open to the highest connections in the universe. And then if you can add in all dimensions, time and space. So that in case your subconscious mind is in the past, it's like something that you remember from your childhood, or in the future, or it's, I don't know, in one side of your body or the other, or it's in some other dimension, you're covering all bases. You're making that a rule for your system. Okay, and if you're still kind of unsure, then you can just say, okay, I'd like my higher self to tell my human self that it's safe to receive the highest vibrations from the universe. Okay, cool, great. And then if you just say, okay, so I'm open to receive what I need from the universe right now. So for everyone, this would feel quite different. I feel that a lot of the people might be receiving the energy down their spine. Back of people's hearts are opening. Your feet might tingle, your arms might feel lighter, your head might feel light or heavy. And just keep saying that I would love to, and I'm open, and I want to receive what I need from the universe right now. And because we're aligning with needs, it's not like wishes or wants or whims or something like that. It's not coming from your personality. It's more like, and forgive me for the kind of humorous kind of thing about it, like when you need to pee or because you need to breathe, you don't have to argue with yourself and say, like, do I really need it? You need it. The same needs exist at your emotional level, at your mental level, at your energy level, at your body level. So we're simply calling needs sacred. I'm saying, yes, whatever I sacredly need. And it's not like what I want, which could be exactly not what you need at all. But yes, I'm receiving from the universe, and I open now to receive what I need from the universe in all parts of my being, at all dimensions, realities, time, and space. Okay, and then if you say to yourself, I attune and activate my soul's highest frequency. I attune and activate my highest self in all parts of my being, in all dimensions, realities, time, and space. Okay, let's do it one more time. I think I went a little bit too fast. So I attune and activate my soul's truth, my soul's power in all parts of my being, at all levels of my being, in all space, time, dimensions, reality. And I activate the power of spirit at all levels of my being, in all times, in all space, in all dimensions, and in all realities. And just allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, and maybe move your shoulders with your eyes still closed. Maybe take deep breaths, move your feet so your body's kind of adjusting to this new sense. And you can imagine that this is sort of spreading everywhere in your energy field around you as well as within your body. And whatever you feel, whatever the nicest thing you feel right now, offer it to your entire energy system to say, okay, whatever the highest vibration I'm experiencing right now, I'm opening doors and windows of every cell in my body. I'm opening every energy within my field and around me to experience this really fantastic, wonderful vibration. So you might maybe see it as a light that spreads throughout your body, and every cell is having a party, or this light is going beyond your body, filling your field, above, to the sides, below, everywhere. And then it spreads throughout your life. And prepare that when you do open your eyes, you will see the world differently. You'll see it through this sense of what you're feeling right now, that the vision, the actual eyesight, will only increase the sense rather than, bring you back to some sort of old reality. And that if you just, it feels like for a few people, it feels a little bit unsafe to be their full self. So if you just say that I'm open to receive what I need to feel safe with being more of my spirit self, more of my higher self. I'm open to receive from the universe whatever I need to feel safe. Okay, that feels like it's settling for some people now. It's going to the heart of the earth now, this kind of like awareness that this is what you are now. Your ray of light, if you will, is just shining through you and going all the way to the heart of the earth, and seeds itself there like a big root, so that now you'll root it with this light, with this spirit light within yourself. And then if you want to move your shoulders, or take a little stretch, and then open your eyes when you're ready, and just like see how you are doing. So I hope that was nice for you as well.
Wow, that was so beautiful. I'm amazed like you were able to do it in just 10 minutes. That was amazing. It felt like a whole session by itself.
Yeah.
Wow, I felt so many different. When I got started, I usually don't see internally with basically like third eye vision, but recently I have started, seeing. So I was able to see a lot of energy shifts and changes. It's like explosion type of stuff. I was like, wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that's how powerful we are. We really are very, very powerful. And so it's lovely to just kind of start to bring this in and create the kind of world that we really deserve to have. Like, if you feel this great, are you going to be arguing with anyone or having wars? Absolutely not. Are you going to worry about skin color or, who is the politician? You're not. You're just going to bring in what you need, let the energy do its magic. And, you're not even carrying all that stuff. You're just letting your higher self take care of it. So it's much lighter and easier. Sorry, I think I interrupted a little bit. Sorry.
I love everything that you're saying, but it felt for me like as if crackers in the sky, it's like bursting in my energy field all around. It's like, wow. And that's the first time I did that kind of an activation. That was so beautiful. So tell us quickly, it's time, so we are going to wrap it up quickly, but tell us about any kind of the services that you provide, if you have any programs, and do you do online sessions? If it is just one session, then how can or how long it's going to be like? So tell us just briefly about your services.
Yeah, generally I would recommend taking 90 minutes, unless you're coming in with just one specific thing and that it's very simple, and mostly nothing is, and we can do it as fast as possible. But yes, 90 minutes is best. I can see people for an hour as well. I do work with groups, and I'm planning on starting doing it online as well. But it feels like this is going to kind of come through spirit anyway, naturally, in the next 3 months. I do kind of a 6-week program, and it's a mastership kind of program. around living as your spirit self, and really looking after your human self, and not kind of like, we're so used to beating ourselves up. It's like the spirit doesn't beat us up, so we need to kind of bring this kindness and compassion and love and comfort, because life can be so challenging. So to kind of live more comfortably, on purpose, in a fulfilled way, and connect with your joy. As I said to you at 19, I was like, completely didn't know what my joy was. This is kind of the program that goes deeper, and I do it with individuals for 6 weeks. And normally, we do it every week. If you really insist, we can do it longer, but really every week is best. And there's a commitment to that. But then, you really emerge feeling very, 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 very different, even though you can have that after one session as well, of course. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the 2 services that are available, and groups as well, which are starting soon. So yeah.
That's amazing. Sure. Thank you so much. So my dear viewers, we are wrapping up there. You will find Kamilla's link right below this video. You can click on it, and when you click on that link, it will take you to her profile, where you will see a book a session button. So you can click on that button, that will open up to a chat with her. So you can talk to her first and tell her about what it is that you need help with, so she can guide you to what kind of process is going to best fit for you. As well as, in addition to it, you also have a 10% off discount coupon code just for watching this video, and that's 0 Point. So you just have to mention that you found her through 0 Point, and she will be giving you a 10% off discount. All right. Thank you so much, Kamilla. That was an amazing, amazing session. And I really loved the activation you gave us. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. Thank you so much for having me. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, my dear viewers. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do click on subscribe. And please do share this video with your friends and family. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have amazing benefits out of the activation that she gave us today. So if you know of anybody who is struggling, any kind of challenges that somebody is trying to overcome, if you think this video is going to help them, please do share it with them. And thank you so much for all your support and your kind loving. I've got so many messages thanking for these videos. So thank you so much for all the support that you're giving us. Thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye, Kamilla.
Bye. Bye.